we're asking Mr. Huizar, we know there's other other city council. I want to know, what are their sentiments on basic services? I mean, are they interested in preserving them? Or are you the only one championing them and you and a few others? Because ultimately, their votes and their decisions are going to affect what is given to the fire department to preserve these services.
And that's a good question, because I'm one of 15. I think generally, if you ask any council member, they're going to say that public safety is their #1 priority. That's just, we all say that. Mm-hmm. But if you go back and you look at votes, when push comes to shove on items in budget, that you say, well, what are you going to prioritize? This supporting the fire department, police department versus this other stuff. I think generally there's not everyone is all there. I mean, I think that generally on big picture items, we all support public safety as #1. When push comes to shove, there's been a few of us who are more supportive of public safety. And it's a trade-off. Budgeting is you're making trade-offs. Do you do this or do you that? And there's no easy decisions we're going to make these next 18 months. But generally, to answer your question, I think a majority of the council always support public safety. But right now, the proposals are on the table. All the budget cuts we're seeing, the proposals that have been proposed, they don't affect much of public safety department as they do affect the rest of services. Public safety is 70% of our budget, and the proposals on the table right now, we're focusing, the proposals that were given to us are 30%. We're only looking at 30% of the budget, with the exception of some of the layoffs that you saw there. So that's the situation.
So who else we're pressuring you? I mean, because we want you to know that we're totally interested and to preserve these services. Who else do we pressure? Do we email and every other council member?
That's another great question.
They need to know, because we're sending you in there to fight for what we want. But you know what? We know it's going to take a whole council vote.
That's another great question, because I'll tell you why. Let's say we come back here and we see the plan. And I agree, and we're all in agreement. Jose, go fight for this and vote this way. I go and I do that. But what if I lose? Right? What if I'm not in the majority to defend what we agreed we wanted to do? And that's why we should share and talk more about who are the other folks on council. It's like any issue. People go lobby the council members and then talk about what you believe in and what I believe in. And if there's a mutual agreement, how do we then talk to other council members? And you can't say that right now unless you see a proposal and then you hear council members talking about what they believe in. Then we'll be able to talk about, well, this person or that person, but you guys should go talk to.
On March the 8th, aren't you having, isn't there Ed Reyes for your budget meeting? Isn't it more than just you as council member?
March the 8th?
March the 6th. On Monday, it's the meeting for the entire district budget and finance committee.
Right.
Yeah. What I do as a member of budget and finance is when the chairperson asks where they would like to go throughout the city to bring the committee to different parts of the city, I always volunteer and I say I'd like the committee to come in my district, and we've come to El Sereno probably more than any other part of the city. And that would be a great place for you to go give your opinion. You're going to have the 5 council members there on budget and finance. Now, depending on what's on the agenda, you could bring up any opinion there. Exactly what we discussed here. Let the other council members know how you feel about this. Okay. That's a great place to do it. And it's actually here in El Sereno.
Okay, and the time on that one is?
It starts at 6.
6? Okay.
Monday, March
the 8th, from 6 to 8.